Coast to Coast, USA Network, Al Albert, and welcome back, Paul Westhead. Prison, it's Andy Muscle.
All right, Dave Zinkoff touching all the bases here, the introductions, and also after the introductions, Paul, the personality of this game has changed as Coach Don Nelson of the Milwaukee Bucks has decided not to play Bob Lanier on the tender knees. He went last night against Detroit, does not want to play him back-to-back, and that's more of what you were talking about as these teams now are starting to set up for the playoff drive. Milwaukee in a battle for first place with Detroit, but they are thinking ahead more so than the standings right now.
Well, very definitely. And this will be a big test for Mokeski to get a chance against Moses and to see how he does in the starting role. So it's important for the Bucks to play well tonight.
Not only is Lanier not playing, Tiny Archibald's still out with a hamstring, and he could be out another 3 weeks. Mokeski is in the middle, and he quickly goes to the hoop. Kevin Greavy and Harvey Catchings, both with swollen knees, also not suited up for tonight. Cheecks.
Well, the Sixers are picking up right where they left off in Indiana. They had 33 breaks last night, and they came down very quick, and it looks like they want to start their fast breaks where they left off.
And they shot 61% to beat the Pacers for their 5th straight victory. And you notice the starting 5 has been reunited for the Sixers with Toney and Cheecks, Erving, Ivoroni, and Malone. Sidney Moncrief, who blistered Detroit last night for 27, and he ties the score.
He's a great driver down along the baseline. Moncrief's an inside guard of par excellence.
Paul Pressey, the defensive guard, is covering Cheecks, with Moncrief, the NBA Defensive Player of the Year last year, guarding Toney. Alton Lister with both Ivoroni and Erving in the way. Julius looked like he was headed back down court, but Hugh Holland says it will be the Sixers' ball. Bob Lanier, 35 years old, in his 14th season. Some feel this will not be his last hurrah. He has indicated he's leaving the door open for next season. This is only the 9th game he has missed this season.
Well, he said earlier in the year he was having his best year as far as health, and I guess they just want to rest him and make him ready for the playoffs.
Three-pointer for Toney. And Mokeski chases it down. We played a minute and a half. 2-2 the score. Marques Johnson.
Well, he gave that nice double pump fake. The fans thought it was walking, but it's a classic Marques Johnson move and a great basket.
Some great stars on the court tonight. Marques Johnson, Sidney Moncrief for the Bucks. The Sixers leading with all-stars. Cheecks into the corner. Toney wide open. And it's Mokeski who put pressure on the back of Malone to get the ball free to his teammate Marques Johnson.
Well, it looks like Moses is still struggling a little bit. He's not as sharp on his rebounding early as he was, and I think that injury is still affecting him.
As classic a matchup, Marques Johnson and Julius Erving. Moncrief draws some traffic as he does so well. Goes to the foul line so many times. This foul is called on Toney. Moncrief is always a leader in foul shots attempted, and he hits 85% of those, which certainly helps the average.
Well, I think, Al, without Bob Lanier, you're going to have to see Sidney Moncrief and Marques Johnson really pick up the slack, especially offensively. They're going to have to carry the burden and let Mokeski just kind of ease himself into the game. But Sidney's going to have to go to that line many times tonight and be a real offensive threat, more than he has in the last few games.
Well, Don Nelson believes you can never have too many centers. He carries 3 of them on the, or rather 5 of them on the roster. 3 of them will be suited up tonight with Lanier and Catchings out. He'll go with Mokeski. Alton Lister will have to move into the middle, something that Lister does not mind at all. And also the rookie, Randy Brewer. Here is Mokeski.
Mokeski with a nice steal, and he's going to give it back and get himself set up, and he's just going to ease himself nicely into the game.
The 5-year veteran out of Kansas. This is the 4th team that he has played for. And out is Mokeski setting in low. Moncrief, the drive on Toney. And an offensive foul is called. 53. Trying to help things out underneath was Alton Lister. Now, Lister has the propensity of getting into foul trouble. He has been disqualified 11 times this year, and that is exactly what Don Nelson does not need tonight.
Well, he's a very aggressive young man. He likes to hit the boards, and he likes to set good screens.
And now his own defense is called against, an illegal defense is called against Alton Lister in Milwaukee. Mokeski trying to get things squared out. Don Nelson does not agree. as Lister was in the lane defensively for 3 seconds. And now a technical foul. Don Nelson, who, if you remember, really went wild here one game at the Spectrum. The jacket throwing incident, and very quickly in the first 3 minutes has been handed a tee by Eddie Rush.
Well, Don is one of those coaches very meticulous about the zone rule, and I think feels especially upset if he gets called on him and early in the game. And he just wanted to make a point, and I think he felt it was time to kind of let the Philadelphia fans know that he was going to be around tonight. So he said a few things, and I think he's kind of happy that he had his say.
Get it off the chest.
Yes.
Last year, the coach of the year, Don Nelson. Now with a team with stars Moncrief and Johnson and the veterans, just trying to keep everybody healthy down the stretch. Toney, the hard drive.
He's just an incredible offensive player. Andrew Toney, and when he's hot, is unstoppable, especially when he goes down the lane like that.
Tied up at 5. These teams have met 4 times. Philadelphia winning 3. The lone Milwaukee victory came here at the Spectrum early in November. Lister inside against Ivoroni, who got a piece of the ball. Marques Johnson fills it, and Milwaukee leads by 2.
Cheecks is really pushing the ball down, trying to get some offensive fast breaks going, but unless you're going to steal the ball or get some defensive turnovers, the breaks come hard against a team like the Bucks.
Ivoroni will put it in play. Toney. Malone goes to work. It is Lister from behind, but he pinned the ball against the glass. Goaltending against Lister, and Moses Malone gets his first basket.
Well, it's a good effort by Lister, but when Moses gets up to the rim like that, there's no stopping him.
Knotted at 7. Paul Pressey moving into the starting spot. And a traveling violation is called. We talked about the scratches in the Milwaukee lineup. Let's add one player, guard Mike Dunleavy, the veteran who was signed last Thursday by the Bucks. He was an investment broker in New York this season.
There's a great handoff by Mo Cheecks. He gets the assist that goes unnoticed, but Ivoroni just gets a nice, easy basket from Cheecks.
So the Sixers move in front by 2. Pressey, the hard drive. And stay here, says Hugh Hollins. The foul is called against the Sixers. It is against Mark Ivoroni.
Well, notice that going up for the rebound, he got a little elbow in the small of the back, and Lister's such an aggressive player that if you just tip him, he's going to be off balance.
A timeout taken with 7:38 to go in this first period. The Sixers 9 and Milwaukee 7.
Richard Basehart would really rather forget about his recent bout with amnesia on the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, tonight on USA.
Really for Mo Cheecks and Moses.
Well, tonight there's a first-place team and a second-place team on the floor. It's a little misleading because Milwaukee in first place has a record of 39 and 27. Philadelphia in second place in their division, a record of 40 and 24. It's just that the Boston Celtics running away with the Atlantic, 9 games ahead of second-place Philadelphia. Pressey explodes to the hoop.
Now, this could be a problem tonight because Mo Cheecks is playing Pressey, and he's giving up a lot of size, and Pressey's a real long-arm young man who can take you inside, so that could be a problem for Mo Cheecks and the Sixers.
Ball game all tied, but not for long. Moses Malone. And Moses Malone certainly must have shed a few tears when he heard that Bob Lanier would not be playing tonight. Now McKeskey tries to go in against Malone. Moncrief with his great athletic ability, able to still control the ball and comes out with a possible three-point play.
Well, only a great athlete under this pressure down the lane with a little fumble there could keep that body control and get his eye back on that basket, and that's where it really counts when you're fumbling around to just get your basket despite the friction and the bumping.
Pound for pound, Moncrief as machine-like, as relentless, as driven as Moses Malone.
McKeskey hasn't found the range yet. He's kind of stepping away from it.
And Maurice Cheecks gets Julius Erving into the offense. The first hoop for the Doctor tonight. Andrew Toney goes to the bench with 2 personal fouls, and Clint Richardson, number 4, matching up against number 4 from Milwaukee, Sidney Moncrief. And inside, as you pointed out, Paul, Maurice Cheecks trying to stay with Pressey, and he is called for a foul.
Well, Cheecks is a type of player who doesn't want to give up anything, so he's not going to just let you have inside position.
Moncrief lets it fly. Swish. Sidney Moncrief off to a quick start. He has 7 of the Bucks' 13. 6 minutes gone, 6 to go in this first period. Alton Lister goes down hard, but hit the padding first. And he is wondering why a foul wasn't called.
He's such a hard-working young man. You have to respect him. He comes out and just plays and will dive on the floor. And he'll commit a lot of personal fouls, but that's because he's active and doing things.
In his 3rd season out of Arizona State, playing the power forward spot at 6'11". Never played forward before in his life until he came here to Milwaukee and was converted by Don Nelson.
Well, they have Bill Walton playing power forward out in San Diego, so I guess there's time to experiment.
I guess that's how they convinced Walton to do it. But hey, listen, if Alton Lister could do it from Milwaukee. 13-13 the score. The Bucks a half game in first place over Detroit in the Central Division. The bullet pass by Pressey, and Johnson converts. So Paul Pressey getting more and more time. This is his 4th straight start, and he has been playing extremely well.
Well, the Bucks need someone in that point guard position with Toney out, and Pressey just has a lot of activity, and he's a smart young man.
Another foul against Lister. So Alton Lister has foul number 2, and that is critical as far as the Bucks are concerned.
But without Bob Lanier, that could really hurt them, because Brewer is really the only legitimate big man that they can bring in to help out inside.
Milwaukee has only 3 players on the bench. They have 8 players on their roster tonight, the minimum. Richardson banks it in. Clint Richardson. And it's tied at 15. 5:18 to go. You know, we were talking about Don Nelson looking ahead to the playoffs. One thing he has in mind, he really wants to see if he could find some more rest for Moncrief and Marques Johnson, who've really gone so much this year. But you know, tonight they both go 40 minutes plus.
He's going to have trouble doing that tonight, Al. He's going to have to play them throughout, and they'll respond to it.
The alley-oop perfectly set up, but it slips through the fingertips of the Doctor. And there is pressing down court. He can't hold on. And Philadelphia back the other way. Julius in the open court. Malone. Ripped down by McKeskey.
Well, Moses needed a roll, and he didn't get it then, and it was a nice, soft touch.
Lister backing his way in for his first bucket. So the Bucks, who are playing undermanned tonight, but so far with their starting 5, have opened up a 4-point lead. Dunleavy, Romar, Brewer, and Bridgeman, 4 on the bench for Milwaukee. They have 9 players, not 8. And it's pulled away by Pressey.
And the Sixers are getting into a game that's not comfortable for them. They have Ivoroni and Moses taking outside shots. They need to get out and run.
And that's what they're doing now. Cheecks blows by. Maurice Cheecks takes it all the way. And with 3:50 left in the first period, it's a 2-point Buck lead. And now a technical foul has been called against Milwaukee. Could it be on Don Nelson again? If it is, he is gone. He'll join Lanier and Greavy and Catchings.
On McKeskey.
No, it is on McKeskey. So Nelson stays in. Paul McKeskey, who felt he was fouled when he was stripped of the basketball. So Erving will take the tee. So right now, the Bucks with 3 centers, but Alton Lister has 2 personal fouls, and Paul McKeskey is 1 tee from being thumbed. Dr. J sits down, and Sam Williams comes in, and also Mike Dunleavy.
Yeah, Dunleavy's a nice veteran who I think was really a smart move for the Bucks to pick up, and he's going to help them come playoff time.
They also found out that Tiny Archibald will be out, it looks like, at least another 3 weeks. Richardson ahead of the field, and there's Bobby Jones. So now Philadelphia, the last couple of times down, getting it open, running. And
that's what the Sixers do best, Al. They're really a great running team, and they move the ball. They're so unselfish. They just look for people filling those lanes, and Bobby Jones comes off late, but he knows he's going to get the ball. And good concentration. He almost got the hoop. He really was hit hard, but it didn't distract him.
Voted the outstanding sixth man in the NBA last year, and certainly is valuable this season for the 76ers. He will be Paul Westhead's guest at halftime. The Bucks lead by 1, 3:28 to go in this first period. Dunleavy playing his 4th game with the Bucks. As I mentioned before, he was working with an investment firm in New York when he got the call. I'm really surprised that no team had picked him up until this point in the season. Dunleavy, who has started his career here in Philadelphia, was a 6th-round draft pick out of South Carolina.
Right. The Bucks are going down low into the Marques Johnson, and that's really their bread and butter. Marques and Sidney Moncrief are their 1-2 punch, and inside, Marques is just an unstoppable player.
Sam Williams, foul number 1. The foul shooting has been way off tonight. The rookie at 7'4", Randy Brewer, checks in out of Minnesota, and McKeskey is cooled off on the bench. So Marques Johnson, who shoots 71% from the foul line, misses the 2. Richardson walks inside, gets a nice pass.
That was off a nice shuffle cut from the corner. They set a nice screen, and the Sixers had run a nice play, and Richardson cashed in.
3 minutes left in the first. Sixers bounce in front by 1. Jostling inside, and again the Sixers having their problems trying to keep Paul Pressey away from the basket. And the foul is called on Clint Richardson as a timeout is taken. 2 minutes 52 to go in this first period. Don Nelson sees perhaps a long night ahead here in Philadelphia.
Nobody protects you like the cavalry can, the Kemper Cavalry. We're the outfit that has first accident forgiveness in auto insurance. We pioneered full replacement value in homeowners insurance. Call out the cavalry. Once you compare Kemper, you'll ride with us.
Beautiful, exciting Hawaii is the home of the Women's Kemper Open. Join me, Kathy Whitworth, for all the action on NBC March 20th.
Came down the lane and there was a switch. You see, they caused a switch, and the big fella just couldn't. He couldn't just keep up with Richardson, and it was Bobby Jones, that hidden 6th man, who set the screen and caused that nice basket for Richardson.
See the hot shooting. Milwaukee Bucks 9 of 13. Philadelphia not bad, 9 of 17.
Speaking of hot shooting, Al, Bobby Jones has not missed a field goal attempt in 2 games now.
This is not the Westhead jinx, is it?
No, in fact, I talked to Bobby before. He said, Coach, I don't have to worry about that kind of thing. I'm a defensive player and a rebounder.
Said you could talk about. Milwaukee now 1 of 6 from the foul line. Pressey 59% from the line. Last night, he had 7 of 9 from the field, 16 points, 12 in the first period that got Milwaukee going against Detroit. Milwaukee scored the first 13 points in the game. Pressey had 7 of those. Pressey known, of course, for his defensive abilities. Malone tied up. Sam Williams. Beautiful move by Sam Williams, who is coming into his own here in his 3rd season out of Arizona State. Picked up by Philadelphia from Golden State.
It was good passing by the Sixers on the double team of Moses. Most teams in the league now are double teaming Moses Malone when he catches the ball.
Randy Brewer. So the rookie, who is averaging just under 3 points a game, plays just 8 minutes a game, but he knows he'll be seeing a little more than that tonight. Now Malone looks to go to work against the rookie. They get it back to Malone. 9 on the shot.
Double team again.
Dunleavy helping out, and for his help gets the foul. The scrappy Mike Dunleavy quickly getting into the action.
Well, he comes all the way from the weak side. He comes underneath the basket and sneaks up on the blind side and tries to get Moses.
Andrew Toney back in. Sixers lead it by 1. Toney fires. Swish. 5 points for Toney. who got a rest after picking up his second personal foul, trying to stay with his man. Three-pointer, Dunleavy. He comes in and hits it. Dunleavy.
Well, that's an extra in getting Mike Dunleavy. He's an excellent outside shooter, especially from three-point range, and late in the game he can be a threat for you.
One of the league leaders before he was forced to retire at the end of last year, not picked up until last week by Milwaukee.
Yeah, I would agree, Al. I have trouble finding teams in the league not needing the services of Mike Dunleavy. I think he's an excellent young man, and he always gives you everything he has, and especially in the clutch. He's made some big baskets. I've coached against him sometimes when I just found it incredible that he would take the last shot and make it.
And has the explosiveness. He played one game for Houston where he came off the bench and scored 48 points off the bench. And now in only his fourth game, a question of how he could adjust to a game condition in seeing so much time, having not played all year long. Junior Bridgeman and Malone gets it ahead to Toney.
Here comes the break.
Richardson fires, and it's ripped down by Marques Johnson, and he runs the other way. He has Dunleavy, who's staying right with him. 45 seconds to go in the first period. Johnson.
That was a great block by Moses Malone, and really stopped an easy basket. Marques was marking that one.
Bridgeman off on his first two shots. Milwaukee needs a hot Junior Bridgeman. But Bridgeman has been struggling of late.
You saw the value of Paul Pressey then, the big guard who got the long rebound and saved it. Another scoring opportunity.
One step too many for Dunleavy. So Philadelphia leading by just one against a crippled Milwaukee team, and they'll come out with the last shot. 16 seconds left.
Yeah,
Johnson got in.
Moses saved the basket there. He just got his hand on that shot.
7 seconds left. Toney. 5 seconds. Williams. 3 seconds to go. Desperation. And that ends the first period. And Milwaukee has to be pretty happy about things. They're playing without Bob Lanier. Greavy and Catchings also out. And, of course, Tiny Archibald's out. And it is a one-point ball game. At the end of 12 minutes at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, the 76ers 25 and the Bucks 24.
Stay with the Sixers here in Philadelphia.
Julius Erving replaces Bobby Jones. Dunleavy got 2 for 2. Dunleavy, including a three-pointer. And the Bucks bounce back to within one. And now could take the lead. Brewer calling for the ball against Clem Johnson. Moses Malone resting on the bench. Sam Williams again gets the hand in the way. Peeling out is Toney.
Well, there's a lot of flying bodies there. Mike Dunleavy tried to stop the fast break on trying to get a charge. He didn't get a whistle, and Toney just is going to push that ball as hard as he can and create an open lane, and Dunleavy takes a good hit, and they just lay off to the dock, and they're going to make him challenge even for that. They don't give the doctor anything. He's going to have to earn it at the foul line.
Well, if this were a hockey and Doctor had scored the basket, there would have been 2 assists awarded on that one.
Yeah, well, and you know, this is good basketball on part of the Bucks. You're not going to give up even what looks like an easy layup. Make them go to the foul line and earn it there rather than just concede a layup.
Sixers by 2. 9:20 to go in period number 2. Coming up halftime, Paul Westhead will be talking with Bobby Jones, and also a special feature on the Bucks, Sidney Moncrief, one of the great players in the NBA. Pressey continues on, and he draws the foul. It's either Doctor or Sam Williams. I believe it's Erving.
Well, Julius gets on a little hip push there, and Pressey really didn't have much of a shot. It's one of those occasions where you get a break. He really got himself in bad position, and the push wasn't that significant, but it bailed Pressey out. Now he's going to go to the foul line.
22nd timeout is called with 9 minutes to go in this second period. The 76ers leading the Milwaukee Bucks by the score of 30-28. So Billy Cunningham, who has suffered through this season. Moses Malone was out for 11 games because of the ankle injury. And when that happened, Paul, not only did the 76ers lose Moses Malone and what he stands for, but everybody else's games that was so attuned to what Malone was doing, everybody else's game changed.
Well, I think especially when you're a fast-breaking team, because Moses means so much in initiating the break and clogging up the middle and starting the running game that you wouldn't think that it would affect a player like Cheecks, but it really does. When your center is down and out and then recuperating, it takes a whole new rhythm to be recreated, and I think the Sixers are playing obviously better, but they're not back to their normal rhythm even yet.
And right now we are knotted. The Sixers and the Bucks tied at 30. The alley-oop, Erving, incredible.
Well, there aren't many people in the game of basketball who can do that. The pass was blind, and the doctor just went up and tipped it in.
Guiding the shot home with a man on his back, on his arms. And now it is the doctor trying to tie up Paul Pressey with Toney watching Dunleavy. 7 on the shot clock. Bridgeman had his shot, but passes it up. Another three-pointer.
Not a good play for Dunleavy, but he knew the clock was running down, so he had to unload.
Sixers by 2. They have plenty of time. Toney now instructing. And is off of Julius Erving, out of bounds. Sometimes with the doctor in there, some of his teammates will throw a pass they ordinarily would not to some other players.
Well, there's a mismatch too, Al. Moncrief had picked up Julius, and they immediately saw it, and they tried to, throw another lob into him. But you're right, they expect wonders out of him. Just throw it up, and he'll somehow catch it.
Marques Johnson is back in. Paul Pressey gets a rest. Brewer. So Randy Brewer, a rookie out of Minnesota, has hit his second shot. And again, the Bucks hanging in there, tie it. And it is Bridgeman busting out. There's Moncrief on the fly as Milwaukee holds it up. Dunleavy. 9 on the shot clock. After all that, looking to set up the play. 3-second violation.
One of the differences is that the players in the game are just not as confident in Brewer and his inside ability, so therefore they're hesitating on their passes, and the shot clock's running down. And it really hurts the flow when you're not really secure with your inside pivot man.
Brewer makes the block, and it is Moncrief in the middle of traffic. Marques Johnson. And here's the doctor wheeling out. 3-on-2. Julius all the way.
Well, I said before that he seems to be getting younger. It goes back 6-7 years when I saw Dr. J jump over top people, and that's what he tried to do then. There were 2 people defending. He just kind of glided right over top and scored the basket.
34 years old. Dunleavy. Julius is now talking in terms of perhaps 3-4 years. And the people in Philadelphia have no arguments. But it started right there. The doctor, as you see, as he works his way down the court, whittling down his options to the final one. 6:37 to go. And the Sixers now lead by 2 as we pause for a message for our local systems.
Friday night.
Well, he just spun around, and in the midair, the ball was thrown up, and his great timing just tipped it in for him. And now here he comes, baseline to baseline, on a drive, over top of Dunleavy. He actually
completely
went right
scaled
over his
him.
shoulder. Yep, he just jumped right over top of him.
So Dr. J now with 7 points, and he gives the Sixers a 2-point lead against these pesky Bucks. Clement Johnson with Alton Lister back in. Bridgeman pulls it down. On his back was Sam Williams. So some help there from Milwaukee as Sam Williams now in foul difficulty. He has his third. It's a question now with 6 minutes 24 seconds to go. Don Nelson has to get Alton Lister back in there, but Liston with the 2 fouls, and you know the odds are high that he's going to pick up the third before this half is out. Bobby Jones is back in for Philadelphia. Lorenzo Romar, number 5.
The Sixers are running a little trap. They're trying to double team Romar coming into the game and trying to frustrate him.
Jones out to Cheecks, and he has Dr. J on the wing. The scramble, and Philadelphia gets it back.
Well, it wasn't pretty, but the effort was outstanding, and they have the ball back to get a shot, unsuccessful, but once they get rolling in their running game, I think they'll be a much better working team.
Milwaukee Bucks, a chance to tie. They're playing without Bob Lanier tonight. The veteran center played last night against Detroit. Now as we get closer to playoff time, Don Nelson will be very aware of the back-to-back games. And this one, even as big as it is, as far as a test is concerned, against the Sixers, he is not playing Bob Lanier. Alton Lister rips it down. Moncrief with Romar in the backcourt. Bridgeman, Marques Johnson up front, and Alton Lister now in the middle.
And the Bucks are playing much slower tonight. I think they're very conscious of Lanier on the bench and Lister with some fouls, and they're trying to control the pace rather than get in the running game. I think it's a very smart decision on Don Nelson's part.
A good likelihood that neither team will hit the 100 mark this evening. To start with, they come in with the second and fourth best defensive averages in the league. Milwaukee has given up 103 points, second best, and the Sixers 105 points, the fourth best. And without Bob Lanier, as Paul says, Milwaukee very conscious about slowing down the tempo. Lanier has had a very good, healthy season after 7 operations on the knee in his career, on the different knees. He's only missed 9 games, and he is also looking ahead that perhaps this is not his final year. It may go one more because the knees have not been bothering him this year as much. But Milwaukee doesn't want to take any chances. They don't want the knees to start bothering him, especially now, and so that is why Lanier is not playing. But to compound the difficulties, Harvey Cheecks has a swollen knee. It's not serious. He has missed the last 2 games, but he's not playing tonight. And the veteran Kevin Greavy, also with a sore knee, is missing his 4th straight game.
Well, Lister's back in now, and he's going to try and keep them going, and he does with a nice turnaround baseline jump shot.
And he feels more comfortable at the center spot. He knows he's not going to see that much time there, but here is his opportunity. Sixers by 2. 3:55 left in the first half.
There's a lot of banging going on there between Lister and Moses, so the whistle's going to blow sooner than later.
And Lister, the block shot. One of the key block shot artists in the league. What a pass.
That's a great pass.
Marques Johnson threads the needle on a bounce to a racing Sidney Moncrief. And now the whistle blows, and it is Lister on the back of Ed Rush, who comes out from under the basket, and it is number 3 on Alton Lister. Now a decision made by Don Nelson. Does he leave him in with 3 fouls?
Well, you could see that coming because the last few times down the court, Moses and Lister have just been going elbow to elbow, pushing and banging for position, and you know, it's just a battle of which push the official sees. You could have called anything in the last 2 series down the court, and Moses goes to the line.
The horn tells you that Lister is coming out, and Paul McKeskey, who started the game at center, is coming in. Tough season for Moses Malone. He's been dealing with the ankle injury, and also recently the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers, Harold Katz, with the Sixers having their problems before this 5-game win streak, questioning whether Moses Malone has been playing like a $2 million a year player.
Well, I know I know a number of teams in the league that love to have him.
Perhaps the George Steinbrenner type tactic by Harold Katz. Since then, the Sixers have turned it around.
The ever-cautious Bobby Jones didn't like his position, so he passed it out.
And now Moses is pushed by McKeskey, and McKeskey has his second. I believe Harold Katz had claimed he was misquoted. He was going to go on television locally here in the Philadelphia, one of the broadcasts, but at that time, the Sixers had reeled off their 5th straight victory, and he said, well, let's kind of leave it the way it stands. They can read it any way they want, but his team is now starting to turn it around, playing the championship-style ball.
But the only thing that you might want to wonder about on that, Al, is that it may be a little early to put the screws to his team at this stage. There still is a month to go, and you can't tighten it any more than publicly saying that your star player isn't playing the way he should be.
18 games to go for Billy Cunningham and the 76ers. And that's 11 points for Moses Malone. As we talk about him, he is now the high man in the game. 2:50 left in the first half. The Sixers by 4, and this is their biggest lead. Jones quickly gets it out to Cheecks. Romar runs at Cheecks to halt the fast break. Toney lets it fly. And there's the doctor. He was under the basket, but gets that long arm extended and flips it in.
Well, he made the same cut to the basket, and Toney took the jump shot, but that means that the doctor's in position for the miss. And so if Toney doesn't get you on the outside shot, the doctor will get you on the follow-up. Trying to bring Moses out away from the basket with Milwaukee up high.
And they succeed, and Malone gets the foul. That is only his first. So with all the fouls here tonight, Moses gets only his first. He is not fouled out of the game this year. A timeout called with 2:12 left in the Sixers and the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks division leaders, winners the last 4 years, but it's been this team, the 76ers, who have been cutting them off at the pass. Last 3 seasons, the last 3 times they've met, the Bucks eliminated in the playoffs by Philadelphia.
Well, neither team is shooting very well in the second quarter, but I think that's more because of the very aggressive defensive play. The hitting and banging with Moses and Alton Lister inside is indicative of the hard play. There are no easy baskets in this game.
Final 2 minutes of the first half. Bobby Jones, who will be the guest of Paul Westhead at halftime. Erving searching for the opening, and it's Toney who gets it back. Sets up Malone. 13 points for Moses Malone. He is the only player in double figures.
Well, that's one of those plays that make you a world champion, when you slip on the floor and the loose ball is there and you just hustle and pick it up and make a basket out of what looked like a turnover.
The Sixers looking for their 6th straight win. Last year that was a minor win streak. McKeskey.
Nice strong move by Milwaukee. He didn't back away from Moses. He took it right to him, and I think he's getting into the groove now.
Erving double team. Toney's the man open for the moment, and he is called for traveling as Junior Bridgeman rushes at Toney. And Toney, it appeared from our angle, tripped over the feet of his defender. Richardson getting ready to come in for Philadelphia. 7 on the shot clock. Malone comes out on Bridgeman. He shuffled the feet, no call, and they get the basket.
Well, Milwaukee in their play pattern has a pick and roll when a play breaks down. They just ran it and they switched. Malone picked up Bridgeman, and Bridgeman took the jumper on him outside.
Bridgeman checks the clock. He finds 39 seconds remaining. They'll try to get off a quick shot, and they do, and it works. Bridgeman with 3 field goals, 6 points, so Milwaukee knows they'll get the ball back. Another possession, 29 seconds left for the 76ers, and the Bucks have knotted it up.
That's really a great play by Junior Bridgeman. He saw the clock, knew that if he got it up quick, they'd get the last possession, and it's going to work to their advantage.
5 on the shot clock. Toney gets the step, and McKeskey backs it away. But the Sixers now will get the final shot with 8 seconds to go. Billy Cunningham making a change. He brings in Richardson to replace Toney, and Pressey comes in for Milwaukee.
Well, because of the block, they're gonna take it out from underneath, and they're gonna get their last crack at it. And Moses is double teamed again. He's gonna shoot the baseline jump.
Oh, what an angle! He hits it and is fouled. Moses Malone. It looked as if he was off the court. Watch again. It looked like it hit the side of the backboard and banked in.
I think it did kiss the side. And of course, in the locker room, Coach Nelson would say, make sure that you get Moses take the fadeaway jump shot. Don't let him come to the basket.
Let's see if it touches the side of the... I think
it hit the top corner.
That has to be one of the wildest shots of the season. 3 seconds left. And very wisely, Milwaukee calls a 20-second timeout. So they will work for that last shot.
Well, they'll get the ball exactly where it was called, but at least it gives them a chance to regroup.
So Don Nelson now will diagram what he hopes will bring the Bucks to within one. Well, maybe even tie it up. Could go for the three-pointer. But the most interesting play ending this second period, Moses Malone takes Paul McKeskey to the baseline and beyond.
He reacted to the double team and stepped away from it. Yeah.
That is a pull shot. Willie Moscone would be very proud. And he's saying to Harold Katz, that was a $2 million shot.
My guess on this is they're going to go to Bridgeman because he's their outside shooter. So they go to McKeskey.
Well, I guess even Philadelphia, everybody knew they were going to go to Bridgeman, right? All right, that is the end of the first half, and Milwaukee cannot be too upset. Moses Malone walks off as the high man with 16 points. As Philadelphia leads at halftime against the Lanier-less Bucks, 47-44.
I ever saw was back home in Arkansas.
As a kid, I didn't have a lot of exposure to professional basketball. So I wasn't like a kid from New York City or LA or Chicago who felt that, hey, I'm going to become a professional athlete, because I didn't know. I wasn't sure of my ability. When I came out of high school, I was not recruited by a lot of schools. And because I was from Arkansas, I felt some responsibility to be a part of that program. And the entire state felt a feeling of satisfaction, and they were proud of the Arkansas Razorbacks.
The Milwaukee Bucks used their first-round pick in 1979 to draft Sid the Whiz Kid. He has gone on to lead them at both ends of the court, developing a reputation as possibly the best all-around guard in the game.
I consider myself a basketball player. A point guard, no. An off guard, not really. A forward, maybe so. A center, sometimes. I think that what I like about the way I play is you can't really put a label on what I do on the basketball court. You can only say that he plays hard and he plays pretty good basketball.
Well, in my estimation, Sidney Moncrief is the best all-around guard in basketball today, and simply because he plays both ends of the court every single night.
Most NBA fans already know what type of ball player he is, but Sidney to me is just a person who I would want my kids to emulate just as much as myself.
Moncrief is a rare breed, able to combine an explosive offensive game with tremendous defensive skills.
Well, I think what makes me a great defensive ball player is my teammates. I'm not a great defensive player one-on-one because you have such great offensive players that I don't think any defensive player can contain anyone one-on-one. But we have such great weak side help that it has really enabled myself to be known as an outstanding defensive player.
While Moncrief is quick to praise his teammates, he also credits his own intense desire.
I want to win, and I want to be the very best at what I do. And if you have that desire, if you really, truly want to be the best, you're going to go out and play night in and night out like you want to succeed. And that's been my greatest asset so far.
The backcourt with 4 points apiece. Sidney Moncrief with 9, Marques Johnson with 8. No Buck yet to hit the double-figure mark. As we start the second half, Philadelphia leading it by 3. And Julius Erving going to work quickly.
Well, they made a switch, and now they're going to come back for the Doc. Nice defense on the part of the Bucks on the help.
Moses Malone stays right with it. 18 points for Moses. The most valuable player in the NBA the last 2 seasons. Pressey in the backcourt with Moncrief. Randy Brewer starting this second half in the middle. He gets the ball and dishes it off to Bridgeman.
Well, Don Nelson realizes that he needs him outside shooting. Bridgeman was hot in the first half, and he came right back with him, starting him in the second half.
McKeskey, who started the game as Cheecks buries it. But McKeskey on that last shot by Malone you just saw, the ultimate bank, McKeskey fouled him, and that was McKeskey's 3rd. So McKeskey and Lister with 3 personal fouls to add to the problems for the Bucks with 24 minutes to go.
We have a turnover here. The Sixers sense that Pressey, although he's playing well, is not the point guard that they need in the game at this time, and they're doing a lot of double teaming as he comes over the midline.
Cheecks and Toney, Malone, Ivoroni, and Erving. Cheecks off the screen of Moses, picked up by Pressey. Toney stops and pops in the lane. Erving scraps. And Ivoroni gets it back. The doctor. Marques Johnson came over from the blind side, and he commits the foul.
Okay, here's the second or third effort after a few missed shots, and Ivoroni spots the open man, and Julius goes up. But again, the Bucks are not giving anything tonight. They're going to make you go to the line and earn every basket and every point you make.
It is a scrambling game.
It sure is. Good.
And Julius really suffering from the foul line tonight, 1 of 4. Last night he led the 76ers to the victory in Indiana. 31 points for the doctor. What a line. 13 of 19 from the floor, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Julius Erving, 34 years young. Sixers have matched their biggest lead. Bridgeman guarded by the bigger Ivoroni. Johnson darts inside. Pressey continues to scrap. And it's a reset of the 24-second clock. Pressey, and he is fouled by Ivoroni.
Well, he has those long extending arms. When he gets in the lane, he almost finger rolls from 6-7 feet out. He just rolls right in, and he's unstoppable right there. It is great timing.
Second-year man out of Tulsa, moving into the role as a starter now. Last 4 games, he's been averaging in that span 11 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds a game. Reaching out is Julius.
This is a sign of a great team. Even when your shots don't go down, you get that offensive rebound, you reach up, and you get another crack at it.
13 points for the doctor, who goes upper deck. And the Sixers lead by the 6 again. Bridgeman can't get the snap, but gets it off to Pressey. Take that, doctor, says Paul Pressey. Hits himself on the head as the ball comes back down to the hoop.
Now this is off a missed shot that they got back, and they found the Doc open down the lane.
By the miracle of television, Sixers get the ball again. The doctor does it again, hanging around the net with a little tip. He's had 3 like that.
Well, that wasn't a great shot by Moses. That was that fadeaway jumper that really isn't his best shot, but the doctor's there to bail you out. That's the sign of greatness.
3 minutes gone in this second half. The basket counts, says Eddie Rush, as Billy Cunningham jumping off the bench. The continuation is called by Rush, so a possible three-point play for the Bucks as they were slipping back by 6 could have that deficit.
Well, to get a charge some nights in the NBA is not the easiest thing in the world to do, and as long as it's consistent at both ends, then there's not much complaint.
11 points for Marques Johnson. And it's a 3-point lead for the Sixers, and a foul now called against Philadelphia. Hugh Hollins said it was an elbow by Julius Erving. So Erving gets his second, and now the Bucks, team that just won't go away tonight, with the ball and a chance to cut it to 1.
Now they're playing a very gritty game without Lanier, and they know they're short with their personnel, but they're playing very hard, and I think they're going to hang around long enough to give them trouble.
Cheecks was on the ball as Lanier, or rather Brewer, had the ball at his waist, giving Cheecks the shot at it, but a foul is called. Cheecks at 6'1", fouling 7'3" Randy Brewer.
Again, Brewer did not have good position. I think Mo Cheecks really bailed him out in that play.
Brewer was the 18th pick in the first round. Don Nelson, who likes the big men, drafted him as a project. He has the veterans there, and now it is Brewer getting some time tonight.
Well, Brewer looks much more poised out here tonight. I'm really impressed with his improvement over the season. Early in the year, he just looked like a young rookie who was really afraid to be there, and now he's not.
Well, for a young rookie who's afraid to be there, it's with the right team, isn't he? Right coach.
He sure
Other
is.
veteran centers could accelerate his education. 2 on the shot clock. Still alive. Oh, yeah. And Brewer will have his second foul. So as this game continues on, more and more problems for the Bucks in the middle. Lanier is not playing. Catchings is also out with a sore knee. But Alton Lister has 3 fouls. Paul McKeskey has 3, and now Brewer has his second.
Well, the difference in the third quarter has been second effort by the Sixers offensive rebounders, and Bob Lanier looking on just can't do a thing about it, and the Sixers are going to try and wear them down inside.
Well, correction, that is number 3 on Brewer. So it's 3 across the board for the 3 centers. Malone.
Don Nelson can only shuffle so long, Noel. I mean, he's moving the centers in and out, but they mount with their personal fouls, and that's really, I think it's going to pay a toll against the Bucks late in the mid-fourth quarter.
Well, I'm sure Boston will be happy to know that Lanier resting up for the game Friday night in Boston. While he misses this Philadelphia game. Toney busting out. Julius Erving wants the ball, but Toney takes it all the way. You see the doctor busting out on the right side. Bridgeman the foul. Toney trying to take it all the way.
Well, here's Andrew Toney. He just challenges down the lane. And once he gets his beat on the basket like that, there's no stopping him. He knows at least he's going to do is draw the foul.
The angle Erving was, if the ball went over to Erving, you know, the likelihood was that Toney would have gotten it back anyway.
Yes. But they're an unselfish team, Al. That's what's important about, you know, the teams that can win championships. They trust one another. And if Toney goes down that lane and doesn't pass, then the doctor knows that he felt he had a better shot at it. And it's the teams that are selfish that are always second guessing, saying, well, gee, why didn't you pass me the ball that time? A team like the Sixers, that doesn't even faze them.
Toney with 9 points. He had 10 last night against Indiana. That was his lowest total in the last 46 games. Sixers lead it 59-55. We have 7 minutes, 38 seconds left in the third period. McKeskey. So Paul McKeskey buries it from the outside, the 5-year veteran out of Kansas. Ed Rush calls the foul against Marques Johnson. So Johnson has his second foul. At the end of 3, the Nets lead the Suns 86-82 on the scoreboard. McKeskey got a piece of it, enough of it.
Sixers had a great opportunity. They let Mark Ivoroni cut down the lane alone, and he missed it.
Pressey, another swooping move. Really showing us some of the offensive arsenal.
Well, that's his favorite shot, that one-hander where he puts the ball down below his waist. That's watch out, here I come time.
Showing you the long arm span and the big hands. And now Milwaukee has a chance to take the lead. And it is Marques Johnson, and they take the lead.
Now, that's another great pass. Saw Marques wide open and made the long lead pass.
Billy Cunningham off the bench, upset as his team up by 6 on several occasions here in the third, unable to break it open against the injury-riddled Bucks. Ivarone from 20, not exactly what the coach wanted.
No, he's up high post to swing that ball, and the jump shot is the last thing that he should be looking for, but he felt he could bail him out.
Bridgeman, that's his shot, swish.
I think Billy's had enough right now. He's going to call timeout and get them things squared away.
So not only have the Bucks taken the lead, they now lead by 4, as many as they've led by all game long. Halfway into the third period, it's Milwaukee 63, Philadelphia 59. And doing it on the run.
Well, Pressey going down the lane with that one hand down and then up, and he just challenges almost like he has a tomahawk.
And back the other way, moving the ball well. Presley starts it out.
That was a 40-yard pass by Junior Bridgeman. How we saw Marques open, I don't know, but that's worth a basket when you can have that vision.
Well, we are 6 minutes into this third period. Milwaukee has been outshot 12-7, but they're making the most of it. They have hit all 7 of their shots and have zoomed in front. A 10-point swing.
They weren't easy shots either, Al. 5 of them were outside jump shots. Junior Bridgeman has really been alive for them.
Bread and butter. Philadelphia off the timeout, go right into Malone.
Well, it's incredible. After a timeout, you can sit down and say, "No, let's get ourselves straightened out here. We want to go inside the Moses and let's establish our game."
Bridgeman gets his second foul. Don Nelson will make a change. Dunleavy coming off the bench. What does a coach go through a situation like this? Big center is out. 2 of his top reserves also out. It is certainly a coaching game.
Well, Don has done a good job with his strategy, mixing things up. I would have probably thought he was going to run more, but he's been selective in his running. He gets it running, then he slows down the pace. I think he's just trying to keep the pace different, and he keeps shuffling in the center, so he's giving everyone a good crack.
Bucks lead it by 3. 5 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the third period. Al Albert along with Paul Westhead. Special edition NBA on USA. Marques Johnson backing Julius Erving. The doctor.
Well, that's the third time that Dunleavy's tried to get a charge, and he at least got the turnover this time. The doctor, when he comes down the lane, it's really hard to get a charge on him.
Julius Erving taking a look at the officials saying, "What's this guy doing?" Pointing at Dunleavy. Sam Williams throws it away. Presley, bang!
Here comes the tomahawk. You could see that one coming.
The high score for the Bucks tonight. Paul Presley. That's right. That's the defensive guard. Paul Presley with 15. And the Bucks now lead by 5. Richardson, Dunleavy takes it away, and a jump ball is called. Dunleavy tying up Richardson.
Well, Michael Dunleavy's always going to come in and dig in for that ball. He wasn't going to concede anything. Richardson thought he had a nice drive to the hoop, and Dunleavy came back and tied him up.
Bobby Jones going in, replacing Julius Erving as the doctor leaves with 15. And now Toney will put it in play, guarded by Paul Pressey. Pressey has been taking over for the Bucks. And now plays defense. Don Nelson wants him to be their defensive stopper, but tonight Pressey providing the offense and the lift. And here is Pressey again. Fires it to Johnson, behind the back to Bridgeman.
A lot of bodies flying on this floor tonight.
And the Bucks trying to help out and clog up the middle. Dunleavy gets the foul. That is his second.
Well, again, Dunleavy's sticking his whole body in there, trying to draw a charge. And that was obviously a block and it was a good call, but Dunleavy's making these shooters think twice. They're not getting easy shots. The Bucks have always been a hard, tough defensive team, and they make you go to the line, and you're kind of feeling it even as you step to the foul line. It's not so easy when you've just been banged real hard. One of the techniques of a good defensive team is you foul hard.
I think Washington a believer in that technique, right?
Absolutely.
Eight on the shot clock. Marques Johnson guarded by Bobby Jones, Bridgeman, and Malone. Loose ball foul is called on Pressey. So Pressey making his presence felt all over. He gets his second foul.
Well, Moses is going to clear this board, and Pressey reaches in, tries to get a little steal going, and it wasn't a bad idea. But he caught part of his body, and now Moses is going to go down to the line. That's not the kind of foul I think Don Nelson has in mind when he instructs his fellows to play real hard, tough defense.
Moses last night against Indiana scored 23 points. He hit 4 field goals, 15 of 16 from the foul line. And tonight, he is now 9 of 12, getting to the foul line. 3-point lead for the Bucks, 4 minutes to go in the third period. Dunleavy, double team.
Moses over there double teaming, nice and high. Very unusual for a center.
As Bridgeman squeezes in his 6th field goal, he has 12 points, and the Bucks by 5. 3 minutes and 39 on the clock, high above the spectrum here in the third period. Slapped down by Pressey. He is off and running again. Great pass to Marques Johnson as the Bucks really putting on a clinic here in the third period. They lead by 7.
Paul Pressey is just playing so loose right now. Defending, passing, driving to the hoop. He's really been a difference for the Bucks.
And Billy Cunningham again has enough. His second time out here in the third period. And with the Bucks hitting their shots, that also certainly inhibits the Philadelphia 76ers of getting out on the break. Let's pause now for a message from your local cable system.
McLean Stevenson and Alex Karras spend a day at the races and cash in on comedy as they win, place, or steal on the USA Movie at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, Friday.
Every month, the sun comes up on an American outdoors tradition. A tradition called Field and Stream. Field and Stream is first with sportsmen looking for action that swims, or flies, or runs. We'll show you how to rig for trout or tarpon, stripers or steelhead, bass or bluefish. We'll tell you where the trophies hang out, show you how to make the most of your dog days, and give you tips that you can really hang your hat on. With Field and Stream, you'll learn how to stake your claim in the great outdoors. The only thing we do by halves is cut our price, so you can haul in the bargain of the season. Here's how.
Call 1-800-USA-1000 and get Field and Stream at the lowest price anywhere. 1 full year, 12 issues for just $7.94. Call 1-800-USA-1000. 1-800-USA-1000.
Paul Westhead, this third period, has been owned by Paul Pressey.
Well, it sure has, and he's a better player in the open field. When he has a little room to see things, he just creates a lot of nice passes inside. This one to Marques Johnson. Pressey is not, the paramount point guard who sets up plays, but in the open game, boy, he's real good.
Well, the Bucks hitting it from the bench, and they're hitting it actually all over here in this third period. They are 10 of 14 from the floor. Billy Cunningham, Sixers, 4 of 14. A not so crisp 28% from the field in this third period. They've been outscored 25 to 15 by the Bucks. And it's McKeskey who rips it away from Malone, stays with it, but then fires it into the crowd.
Well, again, crashing bodies to the floor. The one thing the Bucks are doing is that they're giving shots to people who they want to let shoot from the outside. They've let Sam Williams shoot, and they've let Mark Irononi shoot, and this has really hurt the Sixers. The only thing that's keeping them alive is that they're getting second shots.
Cheecks and Richardson with Malone, Jones, and Williams as the Sixers down by 7. Jones looking for the shot. His streak ends. Richardson misses the tip. Bobby Jones had not missed a shot over 3 games. 11 in a row until that one. So now the Milwaukee Bucks full of confidence, but Philadelphia back the other way. Cheecks in the middle. 3, 4 Bucks get back, and Cheecks buries it anyway.
Well, Mo Cheecks is one of those players when things go bad, he'd just take the game over just a little bit and hit a couple key jumpers for you. He's invaluable to this team.
2:13 left in the third period. And Richardson turns it aside, but McKeskey gets it back. Sam Williams out to Cheecks. Cheecks' basket before was the first in 10 shots for Philadelphia. And that's the second in 11. Bobby Jones, the big basket there, and he is fouled. And it brings Billy Cunningham out of the feet, and the many fans, a big crowd here, near capacity, as the Sixers bounce back to within 3. And this time out, courtesy of Don Nelson. Many teams around the league would certainly like to own that, but when you start stacking it up to last year at this time, the Sixers were 55-9.
Well, I honestly think for the Sixers to win another championship, it's good that they have a little lull mid-season.
Well, it's again a low at 40-24. Pressey with the Bucks holding on now to a 2-point lead. Philly has hit 5 straight. 3 on the shot clock. Sixers running again. Cheecks to Jones. And he is fouled. Well, as a playoff crowd, Alton Lister picked up foul number 4. Moses Malone with 23 points. Dunleavy all the way. 7 points for Mike Dunleavy, playing in his 4th game as a Milwaukee Buck. 4th team he's played on in his NBA career. Moses Malone trips, the ball goes back.
I think Michael Dunleavy is going to be a big asset playoff time for them, Al. He's just a gutty little guy, and he'll be ready because he'll have that month of experience on their play patterns by then.
Well, certainly an indication of the difficulty Tiny Archibald is having as the Bucks have gone out and signed Dunleavy. Archibald re-injured the hamstring, tried to come back, and he's now out, they say, for another 3 weeks. Bridgeman off the screen. Got it. Junior Bridgeman hits. This is a game, I might add. The Bucks without Lanier, we mentioned, without Catchings, without Greavy. They're up by 4, and Moncrief has been held under double figures. Moses Malone scrambles underneath, and he now has 25. And that's how many seconds remain in this third period. It has been an exciting one. The Bucks coming from behind, leading the 76ers.
Coach Nelson's called for, one-shot clear-out play. Bridgeman is probably going to look for Moncrief coming off the pick.
3 on the shot clock. Crowd calls traveling. 2 seconds left. Did he beat the clock? The referees confer. Ed Rush, Hugh Hollins looking towards one another. Don Nelson, a former referee, makes the call, but that one will not go. The referees say no basket. And Don Nelson, who wants all the points he can get.
Well, there certainly was quite a bit of noise, and it was hard to tell when the buzzer went and when the shot was up, but I think Don is just knowing he's going to need every basket he can get come this 4th quarter. And I think he's motioning that he thought the official had signaled a good basket.
Well, he's outvoted 2-1. It will not count. And Milwaukee has a 2-point lead instead of a 4 going into the 4th quarter. Nelson is signaling that Hugh Hollins, or one of the officials, had started the motion down, indicating it was good.
Off the good defense, the fast break opportunity.
Well, so far, Don Nelson and the Milwaukee Bucks have gotten it down to a 12-minute game. It's all tied up at 73. Injury play. Milwaukee Bucks coming in here to the Spectrum. The 76ers have lost just 7 times in 30 games. And playing them even. And now 2 up. So Junior Bridgeman now getting the hot hand. 8 field goals, 16 points for Bridgeman.
Well, this is the game for Junior Bridgeman. He just stands out in the perimeter and waits for the ball to be kicked back to him.
There was a push.
Moses made a real strong move into the lane then. He really wanted the ball.
That is number 4 on Randy Brewer. So the Bucks, 3 remaining centers, Brewer, McKeskey, and Lister, each with 4 fouls. Moses playing his personal game of Russian roulette with them. This foul going up against the 76ers.
Well, Bobby Jones gave a little push-off trying to get some room in the lane, and he was caught. It's a costly turnover.
Sixers with Moncrief and Dunleavy in the backcourt. Pressey and Bridgeman. Again, the lineup that features actually 4 guards and the 7'3" Randy Brewer. And Moncrief is yet to light it up tonight. 9 points for Sidney Moncrief, who averages 23 a game. As Brewer is pounded to the floor by Richardson. Richardson just cut him in half. Foul on Richardson.
Well, Brewer had to set the screen, and Richardson kept moving, and he just took Brewer down with him.
Dr. J comes back in, replacing Bobby Jones, who hit some key baskets for the 76ers. And Philly has the ball. Again, they need a basket to tie. The Doctor, 15 points. Malone's the high man of the game with 25.
But the Doc's nice and rested now, so it may begin to go to him.
A great education for Randy Brewer tonight. And the Bucks with the ball, leading by 2. Pressey takes it in on the Doctor. And here is Cheecks. 2 men back, Dunleavy and Bridgeman. The foul is called on Dunleavy, who tripped Cheecks up.
There comes Mo Cheecks, stuttering on his dribble and deciding to spin and go in. And Dunleavy again trying to get that charge play, and there's a little collision, and Mo goes down, and he gets the fouls.
An instance I would imagine with Dunleavy can't be too unhappy about being taken out tonight. He has really gone a long way, and he hasn't played all year. This is his 4th game. Huffing and puffing to the bench. Marques Johnson inserted for Dunleavy. 9 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. And the Milwaukee Bucks pull this one off. They just went back into first place in the Central Division last night by beating Detroit by 21. And tonight, without Lanier, coming to the Spectrum.
Sam Williams got a piece of that jump shot. And Brewer very alertly saw that it was going to be short, picked it up and jammed it home.
And again, Billy Cunningham calls a time. This is 22nd. He looks up at the clock, looks up at the scoreboard, shakes in his head. And the reaction by the Spectrum fans as Billy Cunningham looks up at the scoreboard again and appreciates it. The score, final, the Washington Bullets 103, the Boston Celtics 99. But I don't think at this point Billy Cunningham is really involved about catching the Celtics, who are now 8.5 games in front, and certainly time dwindling away here in the NBA regular season.
Well, if things would freeze right now, the Celtics would open with the Washington Bullets, so that's not much of a great reward to receive if you're the Celtics.
That is right. And more players hitting the deck tonight than we have seen in weeks of NBA ball.
Well, I think that comes with Nelson's clog the lane strategy. He gets his players in that lane.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Cheecks the fake on Romar. And there's Brewer with the block. And Romar is going, gone. Lorenzo Romar quickly gets into the flow, and it's a 6-point lead for the Bucks. An incredible showing by Milwaukee tonight. 9 minutes still to go. Paul Westhead said, look at the midsection of the fourth quarter for perhaps Philadelphia to have worn down the Bucks, but we're getting close to that point right now.
Well, when in doubt, go to the dock, let him get in the lane, and then he'll just explode up, and he'll draw the foul if nothing else. Julius is just an incredibly gifted athlete who just knows how to take it to the rim and draw defenders around him and keep his timing so he gets a shot off.
And the incredible thing about Julius Erving this season, it appears as if he has lost nothing. 34 going on 24.
Well, he seems so much more relaxed. It's almost as if he's now won a championship, that the pressure is off him as an individual. And I kind of have the feeling that Marques Johnson might be the opposite. He feels the pressure that he is the talented player and that he has to lead them to a championship team.
16 points for Dr. J, 79-74, the Bucks by 5. 8 minutes and 39 remaining. And Doctor, faced by Lister. And it's a 3-point game. The Doctor bringing them out of their seats. Final score, the Nets 108 and the Suns 102. Bridgeman. Philadelphia standing around, and Marques Johnson converts, and possibly for 3.
Well, this looked like it was going to be a fast break turnover for the Sixers, but the second effort of Marques Johnson, who is the talent leader of the Bucks, like Julius is on the Sixers, came through. Dunn's going to sweat this one all the way through. He's
getting his money's worth tonight.
He sure is.
Marques Johnson looking for his 18th point. He averages 21 points per ball game. In this series, he is the high man, averaging 28 against Philadelphia in the first 4 meetings. 6-point lead for Milwaukee. 8 minutes still to go. Toney. Swish.
That's the greatness of the Sixers. There's so many possible ways to beat you. Doctor inside, Toney outside, Moses on his banging, fadeaway jump shots.
Listen, little shuffle, but Ed Rosh says he was pushed from behind by Clement Johnson. Now, Clement wouldn't do that, would he?
Well, not unless, unless he thought he wasn't going to get caught.
Still Moncrief under the double figures mark. Bridgeman working on Sam Williams. Goes over him. Erving on the run. All the way. Toney.
Julius Erving goes wire to wire and misses a very hard driving layup. But again, the second effort, the offensive rebound, is what kept them alive in this game.
2-point lead for Milwaukee. 7 minutes left. Johnson, swish. Marques Johnson, he has 20. And it's a 4-point cushion, if you would call it that, for the Bucks. Moses Malone resting up for the stretch. Doctor again poking underneath. And a full set of 24. Clement Johnson found him. Another shot. 4 or 5 shots by the 76ers. And Milwaukee racing back.
Well, if you can withstand 6 shots and not let them score, and then come down and score yourself, there's something magical going on in the game for you.
And that is the case for Milwaukee here tonight. Milwaukee going to the bench, thought a timeout was called. Philadelphia now bringing it down.
They actually started a little huddle over there.
Lister as Milwaukee leading by 6 with the ball. 6 minutes left in this fourth period. And now Billy Cunningham goes to the bench. You see in the background Bobby Jones, Moses Malone get ready to come in.
Well, both teams out there are tired right now, and it's going to be the team with the bench and the rested personnel that perhaps will win this game.
Milwaukee has every reason to be very tired. Slapped away by Sam Williams, and Toney out of the crowd. It is Cheecks. Don Nelson quickly gets out of the way. 76ers trying to push it down, trying to run, and now a timeout is called. Don Nelson, when he started this game, I don't know if he expected to be in this position with 5:26 to go without Lanier, leading by 6. With an excellent performance, and he stops off at the Milwaukee bench. Some excellent performances from the Bucks this evening as they lead by 6 with 5:26 left in the fourth period.
Well, the Bucks are playing like they think they're going to win tonight, and you can see it in the look in their eye and the way they're coming down and shooting the ball. So if they can hold up their strength, I think there may be an upset going on tonight.
And they're also doing it without the scoring from Moncrief, who's been held to just 9. Here is Moncrief racing with the doctor. How do you like that? Bridgeman came back, and Milwaukee has the ball.
Well, there's one of those occasions where Cheecks overpassed. He really had an open shot like he did to Bobby Jones for a basket a little while back, and that backfired. But in the long run, passing the ball off like that will encourage your teammates to run on the break with you.
And very rarely will you see Maurice Cheecks undecided in a situation like that.
Well, he knew the doctor was there, and he wanted to give it to him.
6 on the shot clock. Marques Johnson against Bobby Jones. The battles continue. Jones virtually all alone. He'll wait. Here's Cheecks again. Not undecided there, but he is called for the foul. Third foul on Cheecks, and the ball goes back to Milwaukee.
Well, this break started from Julius on the ground, and Mo Cheecks going down the lane, thought he got by, and he just didn't get enough around Lister, and Lister went down sprawling. So it looked like the little man knocking the big man down, and I think that helped the call.
Down to 4.5 minutes. Dunleavy is back in. So in only his 4th game with the Bucks, Dunleavy now being put in by Don Nelson for his leadership quality, and he is able to get out of that. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Camped in the lane, Alton Lister.
Yeah, 3-second violation, but the pressure that the Sixers are exerting now, the pressure that was on Mike Dunleavy then, it only took a strong veteran to withstand that.
Toney, switch, 16 for Toney. It's a 4-point game. Bucks with the ball in the lead. 4 minutes on the nose remaining.
What Don's doing, he's clearing the side. He's going to let Dunleavy drive the hoop. At that time, he had Moncrief, Bridgeman, and Lister literally at half court out of the play.
Cheecks the foul. That is his 4th. The Sixers have won 5 straight. Milwaukee has won 5 straight on the road. Their only victory against Philadelphia this year in 4 games came here at the Spectrum.
Again, a clear out. Moncrief's going to take it to the hoop.
And Sidney did not have control as he neared the hoop, but was fouled. Helped out there as Toney commits his 3rd personal.
They just cleared the side and let Sidney Moncrief go to the basket. Toney played good defense, got caught on a little reach. And I think the Bucks are doing this a little bit because of being tired, and they're just slowing the pace down and hoping that they can get some one-on-one clear-out situations.
Sidney Moncrief looking for his 10th point. Still looking. He has been off tonight, and you can tell on the foul line, an 85% shooter. He is 1 of 4 from there this evening.
If you were to say that Lanier wasn't going to play and Moncrief was only going to have 10 points, you'd think the Bucks would be out of it. Here they are with a 5-point lead.
3.5 minutes to go. And Milwaukee really getting tremendous help. Even though it was a foul, it was Dunleavy helping out. 4th on Dunleavy.
Well, you'll see here, Moncrief tries to steal and gets beat on it. And the ever-alert Bobby Jones made a backdoor cut, and Andrew Toney gave him the ball. You know, I think something should be said about Toney. He has the reputation of being a great shooter, but he's increased his passing ability immensely in the last year. And I think anytime you're a shooting star and you now learn to pass the ball, boy, you can really be a great threat because everyone expects you to shoot. And that pass to Bobby Jones is going to get them, well, 1 and now a 2nd point.
10 points for Bobby Jones. He averages 8 points a game. And it's a 3-point game here. 3:20 left. Johnson outside with Jones. And Dunleavy cutting inside. And Philadelphia with the ball.
Well, it's a double team of Maurice Cheecks to surprise Marques Johnson, and he threw the ball away.
Toney straight up, straight in. 1 point separates these two teams. And Milwaukee will call a timeout. 2:57 left. The Sixers trying to battle back on their home court. And they pull back to within 1. Andrew Toney with some key baskets here in the 4th quarter. He has 18 points, 8 of them coming here in the 4th. As we pause for this message from your local cable systems.
And the doctor go after those missed shots. You stay in the game.
Bucks still clinging to the lead as they have possession. And a whistle inside. It's against Milwaukee. Moncrief trying to get position on Toney. And Sidney gets the foul. His 2nd, but it turns the ball over to Philadelphia. And
Moncrief's very anxious to get a basket for his team, and he wanted the post-up position, and he just worked a little too hard for it.
So the Sixers a chance to move back in front. First time in a while. But they do not succeed. They get it into Moses, who has not scored in this 4th period. He had 25 points through 3.
The Bucks are double teaming down low, and that's hurting Moses' game.
2:18 to go. Bucks by 1. Bridgeman. Moncrief, the hard drive, and he gets it.
Now, he was going to challenge the world that time. He got the 2nd effort, and he said, I'm going to the basket, and I don't care who's there.
And he just about did, as it was Moses Malone there. And again, Cheecks with that extra pass, but he'll get Moses Malone to the foul line. Cheecks may have had it himself.
Well, and again, even when Moses was open with the ball, the Bucks will not allow you to take an uncontested layup. They'll make you go to the foul line to get the 2 points.
The foul was called on Moncrief. That is his 3rd. And Malone to the line for the 14th and 15th times tonight. He is at 9 of 13.
The Sixers win. It's going to have to be on the foul line because that has been the strategy of the Bucks. Don't give an uncontested shot.
89-88 in favor of Milwaukee. 27 now for Malone. The amazing thing about it, Milwaukee going through the game and none of their centers have fouled out. 1:45 to go. 9 on the shot clock. Lister double team. Malone yanks it down. Cheecks running.
Here they come on the break.
Toney slices in. Sixers by 1. Now sees it perhaps slipping away.
Well, I think he feels the hurt because they played so hard, and he doesn't want to let this one slip away. And I think he's still going to try to get Moncrief alive, and my guess would be he's going to go inside to Sidney Moncrief, either to get the foul or the inside post-up.
And Philadelphia gets the ball again. The big crowd nearly packed here at the Spectrum and they have approached this one as a playoff game. They are intense tonight. 1 minute, 7 seconds. Toney again. He saw Malone. And Bobby Jones cannot save. And you're talking about the unselfishness of this Philadelphia team. Toney was the hot man, and he perhaps had that shot and gave it
passed off. Right. But see, that's all right, because once that spirit gets through the team, then they'll compensate.
57 seconds to go. Philadelphia by 1. Marques Johnson.
Well, there's Mr. Talent taking over. He's their man, and he has to do it for them.
He has 24, and it's a 1-point lead back the other way. 20 for Julius Erving. You have real heavyweights here slugging it out. Back and forth, each end of the court. Johnson hits the big shot, and Erving counters with the right. 92-91 Philadelphia.
Well, the ball went into the doctor. Was no room in the lane, so he had to take that very difficult step-away jump shot where he had to float in the air, and then he made
Bridgeman has 16, Paul Pressey with 15, and Sidney Moncrief with 12. For the Sixers, Moses Malone, 27 points. Julius Erving and Andrew Toney, each with 20.
Well, here it is crunch time, and Mike Dunleavy, who just got off the plane, is out there. And I think it's Don Nelson's opinion that Dunleavy's going to be able to make a big play for him.
Moncrief with Bridgeman, Marques Johnson, McKeskey, and Dunleavy. And it's McKeskey with the shot, way off the mark. Moncrief touched it as it hit the end line. So with 28 seconds to go, the Sixers with the ball, a 1-point lead, and 24 of those seconds to work.
Well, that wasn't a shot that I'm sure Coach Nelson wanted. McKeskey taking that step-away jump shot.
Working the clock down for a timeout. Philadelphia still has one more timeout.
You know, another basket. I would think he's going to go inside to Moses.
Sixers have 10 seconds on the 24-second clock. So they have to get the shot off in the 10. 15 remained as they inbounded the ball. 3 on the shot clock. 1. 2 seconds to go in the game. Bridgeman is there, but he cannot beat the clock. It does not count. The game is over. For the Milwaukee Bucks, the game was just 1 second too short.
Well, they did everything they had to do defensively, but they just didn't have enough time.
So Don Nelson looking after the officials, but Ed Rush and Hugh Hollins walking off the court. This game is over. Nelson wants to play some more, but now he concedes. So let's take the look at the last play. The Bucks remaining on the court as Nelson following the referees down.
Well, they just got it off in time to beat the shot clock. And now the long pass.
Bridgeman was there.
There's 0 on the clock before he ever even gets into a shooting motion.
One more second, and this would have been a different story. But the Philadelphia 76ers down the stretch